But if you could just give me a grade for yourself, how you feel, where you're at in these 15 years of Baltimore City Public Schools, what would you say?
So I would say, one, I've lived in Baltimore City for 15 years. I was Chief Academic Officer for 3 of those years. I worked somewhere else for 3 of those years, and I've been sitting in the seat of Chief Executive Officer for 7.5, soon to be 8 years. I think when we look at where the system was before, particularly over the 8 years, most recent 8 years, I think what you see now is far greater connection to those community resources. What you see now is after a pandemic, when other school districts have chronic absentee rates that are increasing year by year, and some with a similar demographic of Baltimore City, what you see is our chronic absentee rate has declined every year since we returned back to school, when in other urban areas it increases to 65 or 70% just south of us. I see a system that when I took over had 1 in 10 children reading at grade level, that now, even in the midst of a pandemic, is outpacing the growth for brown and black children who were particularly low across the state of Maryland, are now outpacing the growth of those same children across the state. What I see is a system in a city that did not invest in its schools, now have Kerwin dollars because of advocacy of a number of people, but namely the leader of its school system, where we went from, when I first sat in this chamber as CEO, and we had just under probably 150 arts teachers in this school district, to now just about 300 because of that investment in arts. I now see community organizations and partners, not all who perfectly have access to schools, but many more who meet with me in their office because they actually do things, because they actually have solutions and they have space for solutions. I see 27 new schools that were built, and through the advocacy of my team, we now have additional 3 of the most historic schools in Baltimore City serving black children and brown children that will now be rebuilt because of that advocacy. I see a system where I took over that had 85 schools go down without heat and close to 100 schools with no air conditioning that, quite frankly, the city probably thought was okay prior to that, to now having less than 10, and in a year and a half we'll have 0. I now see a place where we have community schools, where we have wraparound services instead of purporting that we can educate young people from poverty and under-resourced, systematic under-resourcing, as documented in the history of this city through redlining, now actually have access to community school resources. I also see a city where the only high schools that had any kind of robust advanced programming, like advanced placement, College Board access, where we had no young people of color in an advanced placement calculus. Now, you walk through Poly, storied Poly, where when I took over, all of the advanced physics classes, there wasn't one single black male in that class, and I walked with the principal, Jackie Williams, and now that school, that AP Physics, AP Calc class is teeming with black, brown children. That's where we are now. I see a school district that had pre-K classrooms that looked like a paltry block corner in a doctor's office that now are, frankly, the boast of the state, because we had local funders who felt like there was finally, enough stability within Baltimore City Public Schools to invest millions of dollars in Judy centers that serve some of our least resourced families in this city with early learning care. I also see a school district where funders backed off and sat in corners because they didn't want to fund a dysfunctional system in a questionable city under questionable management, who now are the boast internationally for millions of dollars of investment in the work that has led to a city that is in the top 10 for the number of young people that are going on to take and expand advanced programming in high school. So, no, is it a perfect city? Is it a perfect school system? Are there not issues? Absolutely there are. But I stand by that record. You want to grade me? I don't need to grade myself. I will never have the A until every single child in this school system is able to fully actualize their potential. We now have young people in Freddie Gray's neighborhood who know how to play a violin and who can take algebra in middle school. Because when I came, none of that was there. So I don't know what grade I'd give myself, and my dad would tell you I've never given myself A's because I come from a tradition of Black excellence where you push until everybody is at that level. So no, we're not done. But I will tell you one thing, I walk the streets of this city, not everybody likes me, and frankly, I'm not here to be liked. Fortunately, I have a family that loves me, and I have a God that loves me. But I will tell you this, I have people in every neighborhood in this city who will tell me what they think needs to be done, and they know I will listen. And I defy anybody to tell me that this school system is not better off than when I took it. It's not perfect, and we got a long way to go. But nobody can tell me that this school system has not moved because of the team of people we have and where we found it. It is better funded, in part because we had to demonstrate to an entire state that we could take the funding and not have it caught up in some ridiculous scandal or not heading down to the schools. I can walk you through schools that had none of those resources before, and we make sure that those resources go to actual children. So I don't know how I would grade myself. You feel free to grade me. But I can put my head on my pillow every night and know whenever I leave here, I will have left this city, the city's kids, and these schools in a better place. That's my grade.
Thank you.